Good morning, guys. Welcome to the live stream. Apparently, Powell is speaking now. I think I messed up earlier. Let me go ahead and double check this. I know I was looking for it, though, a little bit. It looks like 9 a.m. was the timing there. Let's see. Let me answer Christian really quick. Yeah, Christian got me, guys. I think Powell is speaking right now. Is he speaking? I think he is. Let's go to YouTube. There he is. Okay.
Thank God. Say in terms of forward guidance.
There we go.
Is always going to be conditional on the things that happen between.
Make sure Powell's not too loud for you guys, though. I will say it could get pretty bad.
Markets can forget about the conditionality part.
But is there a problem actually with forward guidance in this kind of
the only thing that's constant with monetary policy is another meeting, he says.
You know, markets lead and central banks follow because of the forward guidance.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel that way at all from where I'm sitting. It feels quite the opposite. And no, as I said, I think people will look back on this period and say that we were able to have financial conditions tighten quite substantially. And we've only had 3 meetings at which we raised rates. Nonetheless, the forward rate curve is pricing in, a rate path that looks a whole lot like the summary of economic projections that my colleagues and I submitted in June. So that's a good thing. That's the market understanding and finding credible what we're writing down. Now, of course, it's all highly conditional, but nonetheless, I'd say that's a positive thing.
Yeah. Do you agree, Madame Lagarde? Is it a positive?
Yeah. I would agree. From our vantage point, we are on a normalization path. We have signaled that very clearly. We've started that back in December. And, the key assessment is the assessment of the medium-term outlook. The variables that we look at, the data that we look at, I think, everyone is aware of that. And most people operate on the basis of the same data, the same.
I wish they had the closed captions here, though.
I think that our reaction.
Yeah, he is, George. I found it. Unfortunately, I found it. I was wrong. Sorry about that thumbnail, guys. I was rushing around to get the stream started, and I'm Central Time, so the time change was a little bit different there. But yeah, good morning, Jamie, Sean, Vicky, Bill, Mike, E, of course. Thank you guys so much for joining up, George.
Yes.
Thank you guys today. He is speaking live right now, of course. So we'll watch this for a few minutes, then maybe get into some stocks if we see some big movers here.
Understanding and appreciation of what we are doing, how we're doing it, and then the level of uncertainty as it clears will probably help us towards this optionality that I was describing earlier on.
Governor Bell, do you?
Of course, if you guys want to see something else, just let me know, and we will look into that.
Have you broadly understood what the central bank's trying to do?
Yes, I think they have. I think the tricky thing that you see, certainly I would say we see, is that we can obviously see direct market pricing. We can have an implied market curve which prices in what we're going to do. We also, as you probably know, and we've just started doing this recently, publish a market survey at the same time as the meetings, and that actually shows a lower path of rates. So we spend quite a bit of time understanding the difference between those two. I don't think it's actually hard to explain, because I think the underlying reason is that the market curve prices in the risk, and the risk is on the upside, and I would agree with that. So whereas the survey is a straightforward point number, the curve has got the risk in it. So I think for me the best way to look at that difference is the risk, but that is a risk in that sense. It's important to see that that perspective.
Mr. Yes, absolutely.
Not to get ahead of ourselves or to have to become big-headed about it, but there's a point that was made in a previous panel, which we all agreed over lunch, which is that it's not.
J Deep says Nvidia. Bick says hi Tom. Short Tesla and Apple, or wait. Oh, you know what? You might want to look at shorting those. I'm not. Today's gonna be a tough day. I know it's been starting off really rough here. Wow, yeah, that is a bad breakdown on Apple. Actually, I would say, yeah, actually shorting Apple, in my opinion, might not be a bad play here. We just broke below that low of yesterday. There is support coming up around 136 even, so keep that in mind. You might have to catch a smaller move now, but it just broke below. I would say short Apple, Bick. I think that personally would be the way I go today. Tesla,
to achieve.
I'm not sure I'd short
real
this one
economy
right
goals
now. I
that
think
we're
it can
working on
definitely
here,
keep
that
going
we're
down.
working
It's
on.
just,
That's
I
what
feel like
we're not
Apple's
thinking,
closer
well,
to
let's
that
do the next
initial
one, but the markets are
breakdown.
thinking, what's
That
the
doesn't
right
mean they're going to
policy
keep flying down
based
right
on
now.
the
Obviously, Powell's talking,
incoming
and that
data
can
and the evolving
change.
outlook and all those things
Obviously, what the
that will get
market
us
does,
to
but
2%
yeah, it's like
inflation
Sean said,
overall,
Apple below
maybe
137. Like, it
labor
started
market's
really
So
falling below
it's
that
really
key
we're talking
support
so
there.
much about
So
markets, I
yeah,
wouldn't
it was
want
looking
people to
brutal
think about that.
momentarily. It is
What
kind of
we're-
like right back
We
up
have an
through
hour
there
left.
now, though. But
So we have time.
it's just kind of
Is there a
consolidating.
piece of the, I mean, do you worry about yield
Let's
curve
see
inversion,
though.
though?
J
Is there a
Deep said
piece of
Nvidia.
that
Let's
makes
see
you
though.
worry, or is it
NVDA.
just, you know,
So
Oh man, that was a
we monitor
bad
broad
break to
range
the
of
downside
financial
there with
conditions.
Nvidia.
Honestly,
Oof.
the short
Guys,
term
that
is
is
not-
tough there.
is not
Wow.
a top-line worry for
Yeah,
us right
we're
now.
already
Our
playing out well
focus
on my
is
day
very
trade though. Holy,
intensely on
wow, that is a bad
setting
breakdown
policy
though,
to
guys. That is a
inflation down to 2%. That's what
straight
we're working on.
drop
That's
down
our-
through.
We understand that that's our primary focus right now. The labor market, of course, is extremely tight in the United States. So so our focus is getting inflation under control. It's very important
Wow, that
people
is a
understand that
bad
we are
break to the
doing that.
downside, guys, with
And
Nvidia. That is
again, that's
rough.
what we're thinking about.
SPY,
Yeah, and I wanna go
unfortunately,
back
with
to
all
the
these big
economics
stocks
in a
falling
second.
off, is
But
probably
let's
going to
actually
end up
get
falling
more
down
the
as
what
well.
we've seen
So
in
it's going to be a little bit tough today, guys. We're going to have to try to gauge what the market's doing here. Like I said, Powell could make the market turn back around.
Well, you know, markets are responding also to the circumstances.
This is like
I think
European
as
stuff, right?
policymakers
Let's
to
go
some
see what
extent
this
have been
exactly...
surprised
There was a very
because
weird
there
name
have
for
been
this, guys. This is
news that
called...
really are news and
This
that
is an
were
economic
very difficult
policy
to
panel
anticipate.
discussion at the
Markets are
European
doing the
Central
same.
Bank Forum on
And
central
we
banking.
have to, and
I mean, it
we-
sounds so
You know
strange.
this very well.
ECB
Markets
Forum.
are turning around very big positions. They're adjusting their portfolios. We are talking about a circumstance where for very, very long period of time, we had tailwinds in the bond markets. You know, we had very low and falling real rates of interest, falling nominal interest rates. So trading bonds was relatively simple. We had very big expectations for earnings into the future, a lot of interest in different sectors of the economy. Therefore, it was easy sailing for quite some time. But you know, the world has changed.
I don't
the
know.
world that investors are facing and the world that we are
This is
facing.
definitely nothing like an
And
FOMC
central
meeting.
banks need to do
Let me
their
know if the
work.
sound's all good, guys, too.
Not as an
Sean says
objective in
SOXS,
itself,
3x
but
bear
as
market
all these,
semiconductor ETF
central
going
bankers have been
off.
saying,
SOXS. I've been hearing about this
fix
one
the
a lot
problem,
over the
which is
past few
inflation,
weeks.
and then
Yeah, there
continue
she
to build a
goes.
much
Wow.
better world moving
That is
forward.
a big
So
break
there are
up,
certain
Sean. That is
circumstances in
huge.
markets where frictions are
Huge
bigger.
move. Yeah, with Nvidia
trading
falling off,
conditions are
AMD
not
falling
always
off.
the
Yeah, I can
same.
see why it's
I mean, you
why
could
it's
see
exploding like that.
circumstances of
Poor
crowded
AMD
trades
just
because at some
blasted
point,
below $80
the same
today.
type of investors are trying
Oof.
to do the same operation.
They're getting
and
low,
liquidity is
guys.
not
80,
necessarily there.
$77 a share
Something
on
that for me
AMD.
has
Look
been
at this
very
on the daily
positive
chart.
Is that central banks,
Wow,
the
AMD is like
leading
really
central
breaking
banks have
below,
been
and
able to
that is rough.
implement their money policy adjustments without really generating such big, any sort of market disruptions. Markets have been performing well, liquidity is there, market making is going forward. Yes, there has been some disruptions. I'm not talking about the cyber world. That's another another field.
I don't know about you guys. I'm not feeling this meeting this morning. I don't know. I feel like this is just not going to be anything. Just a kind of like a nothing. You know what I mean? Just like a weird discussion panel. Like, I don't think this is really going to affect the markets all that much or anything. If you want me to turn Powell back on, I will definitely turn him back on if you guys want. But yeah, I figured might as well get back into some stocks for a while here. Yeah, SPY though, guys, is starting to break below the low of pre-market today. So definitely throw this one on the radar. This is going to be pretty big. Obviously, SPY has been a very influential stock over the past, what, 5 to 10 years even. Obviously, it's like one of the biggest ETFs out there following the S&P 500, and she is really falling below that low of this morning. As we know, over like yesterday, for example, SPY was really selling off, blasting to the downside in some major ways, and we're seeing that play out again today. It is blasting down and just having a terrible, terrible morning. Not what you want to see. Definitely not what you want to see here. That is a bad drop. I have a bad feeling, guys, we might have a continuation off of yesterday's bad movement. Obviously, I hope we don't have quite as bad of a day as yesterday, but it's not setting up too well, I can say that. Like Sean said, that SOXS ETF is exploding. Even SPXS is exploding. It's not up as much as SOXS, but yeah, it's definitely doing well. SOXS is up 8.3%. That is just absolutely insane. Cannot believe that it's flying up in such a big way like that. Wow, that is insane, guys. But going back to the SPY here, let's see how low we can get. We're down to 378. We're below 380. Let's see. I have a huge support here, somewhere like right around 378. I guess you could even say somewhere like right around 378.50, but more like 378. The SPY is such a big stock that, keep in mind, you can give or take like 50 cents or so. Obviously, these things can move a little bit hastily, you know, like if there's a resistance, you got to give like $1 or 50 cents there, just because it's a $380 stock. So it does, you know, it does have some fluctuations, like $1 or 50 cents or something like that can definitely happen. But yeah, it's really breaking down again. I mean, it's just continuing down to 378.90 now. Yeah, I had that bad rejection at 380. That is rough, guys. I mean, I cannot believe we're seeing that with the SPY again. I thought maybe we'd get a pop back up. Apple's trying to come back. Maybe we will get a pop back up after all if Apple keeps running up. Microsoft's starting to come up now. Tesla. Ooh, thank God it's turning around, guys. I mean, let me know what stocks you guys are seeing move today. I'm not seeing anything too crazy. I will say, though, to the downside, we are seeing some, oh my gosh, like what is happening with these cruise lines? Oh my gosh, it looks like Morgan Stanley. Wow, Morgan Stanley lowers Carnival's price target to $7, and wow, that is rough, guys. That is terrible. Wow. I cannot believe that they're down that much. I mean, that is 11% with CCL. RCL is down 6%, guys. We have Nvidia down 4%. I mean, this is a pretty rough opening, not gonna lie. Let's see how these airlines are doing. Yeah, they're down quite a bit as well, actually. AAL, DAL, yeah, both down in the red today by quite a bit. Not as bad as CCL, though. CCL had some terrible news come in. That is bad to see Morgan Stanley drop their target on them. Somebody else did too. It looks like Barclays initiates coverage on Carnival with overweight rating. Announces price target of $14. Well, hey, I would take that. I mean, I would take a $14 price target on CCL. I guess that's funny to see that Barclays has a $14 target while Morgan Stanley drops the target down to $7. That is pretty crazy. It's funny they're saying that the Carnival shares are sinking. You know, like, you get it, guys? Like, that's kind of funny they're sinking. But nonetheless, yeah, big moves to the downside with these cruise lines. That is a pretty nasty drop. I mean, 12%. That is particularly bad. Run is also down 6.5%. SPCE down 4.3% there. FUTU down 1.97 to 2% there. Definitely not the best move you want to see out of them. I noticed some of these EV stocks like Lucid, Rivian. Yeah, Lucid, Rivian, Tesla. All of them are down in the red today by quite a bit. Unfortunately, here's Apple today. Oof. I mean, it's not the worst move on Apple. Honestly, this is not that bad compared to most stocks. Actually, it's green technically, so that's good, I guess. But it's still obviously not the best news in the world to see. I know last night Kraft Heinz was all over the place in after hours, but they're right back up. So I'll take that. That's not a bad thing at all. I'll definitely take that with Kraft. I mean, I like Kraft. I think that they'll be pretty solid for the next couple of years. Let's see how Callaway Golf's doing. Wow, yeah, they're down 1.47% again on that 1-year daily chart. They are getting hit pretty hard too. That is rough there. That's tough, actually, guys. ELY is starting to really fall over. I know Cornish and me were talking about maybe picking this up, and I still think it might be a pretty good pickup down here somewhere around the lows. Smith & Wesson is falling right back off, guys. Maybe giving a good opportunity here. I know that it was flying up with some of that gun legislation news. Now it's falling back off. I know over the weekend Biden put out some negative legislation regarding guns, so keep that in mind. You guys can look that up if you're interested in seeing anything about that. But yeah, it did end up causing SWBI here to fall over. We can see Ruger was also getting hit and is also falling off from this week as well. But yeah, I appreciate you guys joining up today. Of course, let me know what you guys want to see today. We can watch Powell for a little bit longer. We probably will here. Hopefully he starts speaking a little bit more.
Very carefully in the job that we have to
like I said, this is just the economic or European forum. What's the exact name again? Very weird name here. Let's see.
Well, I agree. I mean, I like Christine.
European Central Bank Forum on Central Banking in 2022.
The energy supply front is going to evolve. I think that is the major risk. I think, by the way, if I say, I mean, we had an inflation number out last week, and what I thought is that on the surface, it was pretty much in line with what we expected. Underneath the surface, there was a
nice. Hunter says final GDP came in worse than expected for Q1. He's watching AMD get murdered. Yeah, that's funny. Watching AMD get destroyed, huh? Let's go see that. Let's go see if they have any news about the GDP on CNBC. I'm sure they do. I was actually waiting, Hunter, for somebody to say that this morning, but they nobody was talking about the GDP yet. Let's see, nothing yet on CNBC. Let's see here. I'll just refresh it here on the economic calendar. Boom. Just refresh that. Let's see where we're at. Actual 8.3%. Yeah, it did. Look at that.
Hindsight is a beautiful thing, I know, and I also know the ECB published
negative 1.6%. Yeah, it did come in worse, didn't it?
Going forward,
that is bad. The GDP Price Index actually went up. I'm not sure that's good though, but yeah, that is pretty crazy that it went down 1.6%. That's definitely not good, but it missed the estimate, I guess, by 0.1% on that growth rate there. With the GDP, that is.
All of you actually do the same exercise. You will probably realize.
Yeah, this forum is Powell doesn't even talk much in this guy. This is pretty whack here. Yeah, it is funny though, Hunter. GDP came in worse than expected. I know we'll see this on investing.com. Let's see.
It's a good exercise.
No, I mean, in the previous panel, for example, and if you look also into recent annual economic
should be under here somewhere.
You see that, for example,
no.
Very, very long-term.
I can't believe these guys don't have any articles out about this GDP.
Toolbox that we had to analyze inflation.
Or I'm surprised it's not like a headline.
To be so reliable, like for example the traditional Phillips curve.
What the heck are these Nike ads popping up? I keep telling Mike these ads keep popping up, guys, and I don't know why.
I would say,
these ads make sense.
Giving the indication that inflation could not rise that fast.
Nike must be trying to push their underwear line or something.
That is... like that. I mean, I have to be very transparent.
Hunter's like, I'm in class and doing more journalism than journalists, shaking my head. Yeah, that is hilarious, Hunter. I can't believe that. Yeah, like that is funny. Maybe it's in like this maybe they're talking about it here. Let's see.
And he had the hard time
Global finance. I mean, honestly, our Discord gives us the best.
At the end of the day, they wrong. And
let me put the Fed up here and go to Discord real quick.
It was my responsibility too, but that was the toolbox we had. No, now we find that there are many different hidden relationships or very key aspects about inflation expectations, expectation formations, situation in labor markets that can give you non-linearities, Therefore, we had a very nice model for normal circumstances, but as it has been said periodically here or in a reiterative fashion, turning points is what is very, very difficult. So we have entered into dynamics that are very different. So I think where there needs to be a lot of work is, and we started doing some of that job recently in the BIS, is to understand much better what is happening with inflation under the hood. Why some relative prices eventually become more contagious, to use that word, and start spreading around. Why some shocks are more perdurable than others. Why there are some prices that generate spillovers.
That might have been a little bit low for you.
Revision of their prices, which certainly increases with inflation.
Hunter, that might be why.
The new technology
I will say I clicked
now
on one of
have
those ads one time because I was like, I was laughing. I was like, Mike, this is funny. I was like, I keep getting these funny ads. And I clicked on one. He goes, you'll never. He goes, now they're gonna come up all the time, and he was right. They're definitely not stopping.
So I think it's a challenge for us. I think as we are accumulating all this information, I'm sure also will give us, and is giving already, more leading indicators.
Yeah, I think it did initially come from that, though. That's funny.
And that will be very.
J Deep says the market's trying to turn around.
To calibrate.
Oh wow!
Calibrate
look at that, J Deep. That's pretty nice, actually.
Yes, I mean, I think inflation will evolve.
That's actually not bad.
The inflationary pressures we're facing today are very different than the ones we had in the 70s. And I'm sure that the bout of inflation we might see in some decades forward will be also very, very different. So we need to
that is insane, guys.
Nimbleness analytically to approach, and also be very mindful that we need the right instruments. And another thing that has been very useful is that the different banks have been, the central banks have been able
Sean goes, I still get Home Depot ads for lumber, and I bought some from them 3 years ago. That is funny.
Does everybody on the panel think they understand inflation better now than they did 4 or 5 months ago? Because you could also have, again, going back to Krugman's point.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I mean, certainly I believe that we understand it a little bit better, not fully.
No.
There is a sort of...
I don't know, guys. This guy seems funny to me.
I won't say black box, but certainly gray box, where I think...
He's like holding up his finger. Can I say something?
No. And that's understanding aggregate supply. We are, at least I myself consider myself an economist that I was trained under the dominance of aggregate demand. And we know a lot how to aggregate...
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't think that this meeting is going to be too important today. But, hey, I'll take it. I'll take the movement on the SPY. We'll take that. Hopefully Powell can save us and we start popping back up here. I'm looking at the headline news for the SPY, and Powell said at some point he feels very strongly committed to our tools to bring down inflation, says there is a risk we could go too far, yes, but not the biggest risk. So I don't know. Kind of cool there. Hopefully that helps out. Here's the GDP numbers that Hunter was talking about earlier as well. Like I said, 1.6% versus that 1.5% estimate that we saw over here on the economic calendar right there. So, yep, those growth rates did come in slightly worse than people were expecting. Looks like core PCE prices for Q1 came out as well, slightly higher than expected too. So that's kind of interesting to see that those also came out a little bit higher. I'm not sure that I saw that on the calendar this morning. Yeah, I didn't see that on here. Maybe it's under the 1 star. Let's see. Oh, that's why. It was just the 1 star impact. But, so I guess that means it didn't impact the market too much, but still, I mean, pretty big news there, especially with the GDP growth, guys. That coming in worse than expected obviously is not good. And anytime it's down, obviously, is not a good sign. SPY, though, is really popping back up now that Powell said he's committed to using the tools. That sounds great. Look at the IV. That IV actually had like a bit of a pullback here as well. I mean, obviously the IV moves throughout the day, but that was a pretty decent little pullback there for right at market open, I guess. I will say, guys, some of these tech stocks are really turning around today. Amazon really turned it around. Meta back to the upside, which is great. I mean, that's awesome, guys. Glad to see these stocks recovering and holding their ground back up. Microsoft's another one here. This is having a really good move, actually, this morning. Back to the upside. I'll take that. Yeah, Microsoft's coming. That's amazing there. Let's see, Tesla. Oh, poor Tessie, guys, is still in the red. Talking about Home Depot, though, Sean said he bought some lumber there. Might as well look at the stock. 1.41% up today. That 1-year daily chart looks pretty good. Sean, I saw that Ketchup was coming back today a little bit. It was coming back up, but now it's dipping back. I will have to see where that one ends up closing at today. Did they just recently add this up here? I don't remember that having that type of symbol up there before. Huh, interesting. And I look at Kraft Heinz all the time, so I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing that one up there in the corner though, quite like that. AMD, yeah, AMD's not recovering up quite as well as people hoped, I don't think. Same thing with Nvidia. It's not back up to opening price. We're still down like 3%, guys. So still keep your eyes on some of these chip stocks. They could still make for some pretty negative price action today. That news with Carnival Cruise Lines, though, guys, is rough. With Goldman Sachs, I think it was. Who was it? Let's see. Oh, Morgan Stanley adjusted their price target down, and then even said that they could see them going to zero if we see another bad, I guess you could say another negative, I guess, traveling time come in. I'm trying to get the exact wording for this. Let's see. I guess the exact wording would be like demand shock. That's like how they worded it. I guess if you see like demand start to fall off again for like the travel sector, then obviously that could end up hurting Carnival pretty bad. Morgan Stanley saying like they're saying the price could theoretically go to zero. I guess it's just saying that the demand will go down for vacationing or traveling and stuff like that. And if inflation stays high, I could definitely see that still going on. So hopefully inflation starts to fall back down. If it stays up, I feel like people will start to spend less and less the higher and just the longer it stays up there. So it's going to start to get crazy, guys. But yeah, Powell is he's speaking, but obviously we're not seeing anything too crazy with him there. Let's check out Netflix today. I know that one's pretty interesting. Mike mentioned it in Discord this morning. Yeah, the sheet really fell below 180 and then tried to hold its ground, but trying to come up now. We'll have to see how high it can end up running up today. Not sure where it can end up going. I will say though, today has been a day of like value plays, guys. Like I think today is more of a value day than anything. Like we saw McDonald's up a lot, MCD, Pepsi was up, Kroger, Walmart, stocks like that were up in the green today, which is nice. I mean, MasterCard up. Looks like Goldman Sachs is up in the green by quite a bit. Let's see. Bank of America was trying to go green. Same with JP Morgan. So yeah, pretty good reversal here on stocks, I'll say. Definitely not like the greatest open that we could ever have, but yeah, they're trying to hold their ground. I noticed CCL though is starting to still break the low of today, guys. Down 14%. Check this out on the 1 minute. Down to $8.86, still falling off. That news with Morgan Stanley, guys, is rough. Let me find out the exact quote here. Yeah, I don't see it now, but yeah, they lowered that down, and oh, here it is. Nope. Mike had the quote though in Discord. Pretty much the exact quote reads. It reads, Morgan Stanley cut the price target to $7 per share from $13, and they said the price could potentially go to zero in the face of another demand shock given Carnival's debt levels. So, yeah, terrible news with them, guys. If Morgan Stanley says that they think your stock could theoretically go to zero, obviously that's going to scare out some investors. So, yeah, Carnival down 14%. That is just a very rough morning there, guys. I feel bad to even have to say that Carnival's down that much. That is brutal. Let's go check the CNBC one more time. Maybe see what kind of news we have going on here. Bed Bath & Beyond replaces CEO as the retailer shares plummet. Looks like the CEO Mark Triton or Mark Triton has left the company. Mark Triton, I guess. That's yeah, that's rough for them. I feel bad for Bed Bath & Beyond. What is this? Is it BBBY? Yep, Bed Bath & Beyond. Those earnings this morning were pretty rough. Obviously, wow, down to $5.27. That is pretty crazy there to be down that much. Yeah, they're all the way down to $5 now. That is getting extremely rough. Let's see that yearly chart. Yeah, they haven't been this low since like the COVID low. So, yeah, that's bad. We can see back in 08, obviously, they were around like $18 or so. But, yeah, and they're all the way down to 5. And you can see that EPS. Look at their EPS here, guys. I mean, I know EPS doesn't always tell the whole story. So, I'm not saying to always look at EPS in this type of sense. But, you know, just look. Like, positive EPS. You know, this company was still falling, but positive EPS. Now, look, we're into like -2 EPS on this earnings. And right after COVID, we had like -1.9. Like, sounds like it's just getting really rough for them. Obviously, their sales aren't going as well as they want, so they're not bringing in as much profits. They're obviously not able to have as much cash on hand as they would want. So, yeah, it's getting rough for BBBY. But yeah, look at that 5-minute candle. That was a big drop, 18% today. I don't even have them on my watch list because they're just too volatile. But yeah, 18%. That is a bad drop. I also noticed Enphase was another stock continuing down again today. Quite a bit there. AMD, another one. Let's go back to the SPY, though, and see where we're holding up around. So SPY tried to run up to like 382. Tried to break out. Got rejected. Looks like we're going to try and break out here again. And let's see like what stocks are pushing this. I'm thinking the tech plays today, like Meta, for example, are really pushing this up. I mean, Meta is having a pretty good recovery so far today. Yeah, it's a really good recovery actually out of Meta. I'll take that any day of the week. Yesterday, my bonus play on Meta was amazing, guys. I mean, look at this bonus setup here. I had Meta if it fell below 167.70 or 168 to grab some puts there. And once we started really blasting below there, I mean, guys, that was just a brutal sell-off. Like, I know obviously you might not hold it all the way to the low of day, but even to like right there in the middle, like 165.50, that was still an amazing drop. And Meta's still continuing back up today. So great to see that with them. They are really, really pushing the market up, I feel like, here. That's great to see them up. Amazon, Microsoft. Hey, I'll take it. I mean, look, that's pretty much the top of my watch list right there, those few stocks. Huh. Pretty good day so far, guys. Pretty good. Pretty nice recovery going on. Let's see the QQQ really quick here. Yeah, there we go. QQQ is outperforming SPY, which is great to see. SPY is starting to come up, though, too, so it's starting to look similar, but still, that is a great move back up. Mike says, whoa, Apple making a comeback. Yeah, that's great. J Deep said Meta is really ripping as well. Yeah, thank you guys so much for those ones. Meta was really going there for a minute. That was awesome. Carlos says resistance levels for Meta, though. Let's check it out. So as Meta starts to fly up today, they had a lot of intraday resistance yesterday, right around 164, but we're blasting up through that now. There is going to be some resistance probably up here right around 166.80 to 167. I saw a lot of consolidation there yesterday. The biggest level up, though, is going to be 168. I think that's going to be the most crucial level to look at. Let me get the 90-day 5-minute up here to get some more levels for us, though. So, yeah, there is another resistance right at like 166. So keep that in mind. If you do see, I think we might end up consolidating a little bit at 166. Yeah, just above that 1,000 SMA there. So definitely be on the lookout for that, Carlos. 166. After that, 167, then 168. I know that might sound weird, $1 marks, but you can see yesterday even, you know, bounces a lot around 168, then consolidation at 167, then we moved again right through 166, down to 165. Sounds a little weird, but yeah, lots of whole dollar levels there today. I would definitely watch 166 though. I feel like that might be at least a resistance in the short term. Looks like it's kind of holding up now. But yeah, those are my resistance levels on Meta. Let's see, Twitter today. Yeah, they're not doing quite as well. Maybe Pinterest. Pinterest had some pretty crazy news last night, guys. Pinterest CEO is stepping down, which is pretty big. And that made the stock go up. But now that we're opening up in the morning, the stock's actually down a little bit. So very interesting there. But Pinterest stock was down so much, maybe the market just wanted to see a change or something, you know. Honestly, I mean, with the way stocks are going, I know a lot of people are pretty upset with the way the market has been moving, but yeah, I figured I'd take a second, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button, of course. We're at 12 likes right now. Something like 15 or 20 likes would be awesome there. That would be awesome. Slick Messi, how are you doing, Slick Messi? Thanks for joining up today. Long time no see. He says, yo, Tom, what's up? Shout out Hunter. Tell Mike to tap Powell and make the market move up. LOL. Yeah, definitely, Slick. How are you doing? Hopefully you're having a good time in the markets lately. Hopefully soccer and everything like that is going well for you. But yeah, thank you so much for being back here. I appreciate you joining back up this morning. If you're looking at any stocks, definitely let me know. But yeah, he definitely needs to help make that market move up. Yeah, hopefully Powell can start moving it back up here. Let's go back to Powell's live stream. Oh, he's speaking right now, Slick.
Millions of people who dropped out of the labor force.
Let's see what he's saying here. We'll give it a second.
So wages wouldn't be under such pressure. That didn't happen for a range of reasons. It didn't happen. In addition, the bottlenecks and the shortages haven't been alleviated yet. And then on the back of that comes the new shock in the form of the war. But it wasn't something wrong with our models, because it wasn't in the models at all. It was a question of how to assess the persistence of these supply side shocks. And I do think that there'll be, to Augustin's point, and there is a lot of work going on to get smarter about the supply side. In the nature of it, though, it was a deep in the tail kind of a risk, and those are very hard to predict and assess when they come.
Yeah. Because monetary policy is not an exact science, how often do you actually speak on the phone to exchange ideas? Do you call each other and say, like, well, I've done it this way?
I can help out. I mean, because part of my job is to be able to attract them to Basel 2 times every 2 months, to have very, very deep and open exchange of views.
We do talk, but we're not going to tell you.
And you all show up.
Yeah, you'll show up. We speak quite often.
Quite a lot, but you're not going to tell me. President Lagarde, the ECB decided to apply flexibility to reinvestments from Friday, July the 1st. What will be the guideposts?
We decided. Look, I think, if you allow, I'd like to just come back to why that is. Yeah. Because I think that's...
Alrighty, guys. Powell's over. He quit speaking. But nonetheless, we'll go back to the market here today. Slick says he's watching SPY like an eagle. Are you like Khabib? You know, the eagle from UFC? That's funny, but yeah, watching SPY like an eagle today. Definitely me too. I've been eyeing it up all morning. You know, we just broke above 382, and now we're pulling right back down. If we could maybe get a good breakout back up above there, who knows? We might have a pretty good run up today, but it's going to be a tough morning. Obviously, so far, it's been a pretty tough. We can see the market's trying to pop back up above like 285. Oh my gosh, Slick Messi says, who's the fat guy? His supply chain has never stopped. LOL. Oh my gosh, Slick, you got me laughing here. Yeah, he's pretty funny, I'll tell you. It's hard to understand him too. It's earlier he like raised his finger and was like, let me say something. It was so funny. I don't know. I don't know exactly who he is, but it is. Let's see if they say here who it is.
And if
nope. They're just saying Powell's speaking. I guess they don't care about the other people.
And that is the reason we decided.
Yeah, that's funny. It just says Jerome Powell speaks.
You're right. Friday.
That's funny.
What I said yesterday. we would use the flexibility in the reinvestment of our pandemic emergency.
I mean, I would hope these are like people from the European central banks, you know, like I don't know what country that guy's with, but.
Second, we also decided.
Well, wait, maybe I can find out right here,
it's
actually.
Work in progress, so I'm not going to
now
comment
I'm interested.
upon it. I know that some would like to have details and understand before everybody else, and particularly before the Governing Council, what the details of that instrument will be, but we decided to reinforce our capacity to properly.
The welcome remarks were from Christine Lagarde, President of the European Central Bank.
That will be considered by the Governing Council of the ECB.
I guess that has to do with the EU, of course.
So don't waste your time asking me for details, criteria, conditions, safeguards. All I said is that it has to be effective, it has to be proportional, it has to include the right level of safeguards. And that's all I will say at this point.
Okay. How do you direct
she right here, though, is the president of the European Central Bank.
And it
Just to clarify for everyone, so that's her.
So how do you direct staff?
So her and Powell are probably the two big ones there. Carlos goes, that's actually me in the future. Slick's like, oh no, Carlos, that will not be you. You will live a long, healthy life.
How should we look at China?
Yeah, no matter what it is, I hope you live long. I mean, I'll just say that. That is funny, though.
Things start improving more in China.
You guys are going to get me in trouble here.
The growth that has come from China, they play a very important role in the supply chains. I mean, many of the tensions we're seeing around the world could be mitigated by having higher growth rates around the world. I mean, part of the way we have started this conversation was trying
Powell's just like staring at the ground.
Hear our thoughts about how can we bring down inflation without.
I feel like Powell feels like the cool guy in the group.
We have other sources of growth that would make the whole.
No, Slick, you're good. You're good, Slick. I'm just joking too.
Now, what is one major engine of growth that has not been contributing as much as it could? I have to say China. No, they have problems that are well known. One that I hope that can be resolved soon is the one in the housing market. I mean,
it's a very drawn out H&S.
That sector, it's a very important contributor to growth. A lot of, certainly very much impact in the rest of
Powell's the coolest of them all.
Economy.
That's right.
And
you can tell sitting here, he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm the cool one here. She's pretty big too, president of the central bank.
But I mean, I would say at this stage,
for
their own sake, they're not growing as much as they certainly would like, and certainly they're not growing at the pace I would like them to.
Oh, Hunter, I hope you're listening to this one. Man, Hunter would be getting a kick probably out of this.
For living today.
Do you think we'll see, Chair Powell, more deglobalization and how that will impact our economies going forward?
So there's certainly a threat of that, and this is not the work of the central banks, but I do think it would be a plus if we were to find a way to, for China to take part diplomatically and economically according to a common set of rules, and that would be a big plus for global growth if we could get back on a path to that. But it's obviously that's the work of elected governments, not for us. In terms of globalization, yes, I mean you can imagine a world. It's not
globalization,
hard to imagine a world
guys.
where we break into these blocks again, and that would be a world of lower productivity and
deglobalization,
and lower incomes over time. It doesn't have to happen that way.
He says he doesn't like
deglobalization. At shorter and more durable supply chains. It's not clear how much of that will happen, and if so, what would be the effects. That could also be more secure, but perhaps
Hunter's like he's just balking to become Mr. Olympia.
As the long. But
Hunter, if that guy ever became Mr. Olympia,
so it's a very important question, and there's certainly
I'll live in a cardboard box for the rest of my life.
Obviously, there were benefits and there were costs to the advanced economy, certainly.
I mean, a question for all of you, and Powell, I'll start with you. What have we learned about, you know, the last 10 years of monetary policy? Some of the tools.
I bet that guy is rich as hell,
in
though.
other
No
parts of the
lie,
world,
no
even
cap.
rates.
So the last 10 years were so far the height of the disinflationary force.
I wish I could eat like that.
Really, it goes back before
Not
the
fair.
global financial crisis, but really since the global financial crisis, we had very low inflation. In the United States, we had 3.5% unemployment for a couple of years, or right in that range for a couple of years, and inflation didn't react at all. So we had that gave us the ability to really lean into the maximum employment mandate, and we did that, and I think that was the right thing to do.
All right, let's go see the
that
SPY
world.
again here.
That world seems to be gone now, at least.
SPY, QQQ, turning back over a little.
You know, we're living with
That hitting a high a day finally. Right around 166, guys. Remember, I kept saying 166
think
earlier.
about monetary policy in a very different way. So
I'm not
I think-
saying
I
that
think if
I'm
you want to know the lessons to be
100%,
learned over the
but
last
you
10
know.
years, look at our framework. Those were all based on a low inflation.
Carlos was asking those resistance
environment
levels
that we
there.
had. And now
Slick's
we're
like, oh,
it's
best
quite
believe he's
different
rich, yeah.
With higher inflation and many
Definitely, you
supply
better
shocks
believe it.
and strong inflationary forces around the world. It's quite a different environment.
President Lagarde, how do you think we'll look at
Amazon, are they coming back?
some,
Yeah.
well, negative rates, first of all?
Let's see, AMD.
Well, I look at it in a similar way.
Ooh,
to
AMD
Jay,
turned back
I think the
over,
last 10
guys.
years have been 10 years of
Rough move
heroic
there. Nvidia,
fight
same
against
thing.
Inflationary forces.
Big move back
with
down
central
again.
banks demonstrating
Didn't even get
great,
close back to
agility
158.
to
Didn't even hit
innovate and
157.
find sometimes
Wow,
alternative
we're really falling back
ways
off
of,
now
of
on these
dealing
stocks.
with forces that have nothing to do
Unfortunately.
with what we are experiencing now.
Square.
So we're certainly learning from
Ubo.
that period, but we are in a new
See,
environment, which also I think
Run.
will force us to show agility and capacity to respond
to
fast
22.
to data that
Wow.
we are receiving at an
like I have some
accelerated
support at
pace
22.
and with a scene that is changing.
It ain't looking good on that daily, though, I'll tell you that.
As well as economically.
Brutal, guys. Brutal
Mr.
downtrends
Carstens,
today.
Do you think
But I don't want to sound too dark because I think that there are also good things happening. You know, I was reflecting on your comments, Jay, and you know, think back December, when was it? December 20, when we thought that this pandemic was going to hit us for the next 2 years, at least, until such time when vaccination would come to market. And vaccination came about in a matter of 9 months, as opposed to the 3 years that it normally takes. In the same way, everybody expected a couple of weeks ago that the Geneva Agreement of WTO would be a complete illusion, would never happen. Well, certain things happen when there is goodwill, agility, creativity. So I have great faith in human inventivity and talent, particularly when it includes women.
Especially when it includes women.
Because
That's funny.
the recovery and the expansion have been so much stronger than and faster than expected. If you look at
That
the
was
U.S.
awesome.
labor market as an example now, it's a very good time to be in the labor market. You can, there are 2 job openings effectively for every unemployed person. So people are switching jobs, they're getting pay increases. It's a terrific labor market. The problem is that wages are moving up in some areas at levels that.
Carl says, "Hey Tom, do you ever think about having a power hour stream during the last hour of market?"
It's a byproduct.
And then he said, "Oh, okay."
Of a very
I do sometimes
government
think that,
on pay
Carlos.
increases? I mean, the
I've
UK is
definitely
going
thought about
through a bit of a bumpy
doing that
ride
before,
with
some
the,
streams in
of
Power
the
Hour and stuff like
pay
that.
increases. How do you see that
I might try it. It wouldn't be worth a. It definitely would be worth a shot to try out sometime. And yeah, I've been even thinking about trying to get like the live streams going longer in the morning. I'm not sure. Maybe there's certain things like you go longer. Maybe like YouTube promotes it more or something. I have no idea, but who knows? It's worth a shot. Definitely though, going in the last hour might be fun. Maybe find like some cool end of day runners and stuff. I know sometimes there's some pretty big moves there towards Power Hour. So we could, Carlos. I'll definitely think about that. But yeah, thanks for the question there. Mike Chang says, "Why can't they bring back the girl in the red dress from Powell's last speech?" Yeah, they only had her up there for like 2 minutes. Remember, they took her off really quick. That was funny.
But that's not the point. I mean,
That
the
was
point
funny.
is, yes,
Everyone wanted
I
that.
think it was likely that we would see.
Hey, Bick, there we go. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, "Have a good one, Tom. Shorted Tesla. Hope all goes well." There we go. Nice one, Bick. You ended up shorting it down there. Nice. Yeah, it really ended up falling off. Good short there. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that again. That's like twice this week, Bick. So yeah, thank you so much. Hope you made some good money on that today. It really ended up falling off. So yeah, great moves with that. Apple ended up coming back up though, which was a little bit unfortunate. It broke that low and honestly ripped right back. So glad to see that Tesla ended up going down for you. You picked the right one. So nice, nice intuition there. So yeah, overall great play, and thank you so much for that. And yeah, guys, overall just great stream today in general. Yeah, the economic forum has been a little bit interesting. You know, Powell has been making the market move a little bit, I guess. There was a little bit of news that hit the SPY Thinkorswim news tab here. Yeah, now there's a little bit more news that have came in over the past 20 minutes talking about the European Central Bank saying that Russian gas embargo is extremely difficult. Fed Powell says we don't have responsibility for level of dollar. That's what he says about the Feds. Like, he doesn't have responsibility to make the dollar go up or down. That's what he's saying. So, and he is right. You know, I will say that he is correct. He can try to move it, but that's not their job to move that.
And my sense is the role of fiscal and monetary.
Yeah, guys, give some W's in the chat for Bick there. He made some good money on that Tesla play there. So pretty good play. Not bad. You caught that momentum right there in the morning. But yeah, give him those W's, guys. That's always good to see some nice profits there.
That where monetary policy could have an impact on growth, because as Christine said, as Jay Powell,
Slick, it's your favorite guy again.
And have said, we faced a very, I would say, specific period of time of very low inflation, and where monetary policy could make, if you had the instrument, why not use it? No. But I think what we should learn, and this is not only, I mean, at the end of the day, the economies do not depend only on monetary policy. At the end of the day, they depend on fiscal, monetary, but also many other real policies that are out there. And what we have seen is in the last 10, 20 years, it's a very unreliable process of economic growth in the world. Some, of course, have been distorted by issues like wars or pandemics. But even before, I mean, we don't have the resiliency in growth that we would like to see, and that puts at different points in time a lot of stress on fiscal and monetary policy, and at some point that has some impact. So I think yes, monetary policy will have to adjust, will have to evolve. We are learning lessons. But I think where we need to work more is to understand growth.
Yeah, Slick. W's for Bick. There we go. There we go. W's for Bick.
That on the panel. Does everybody?
It depends what kind of growth. And I really think that the determination of the Europeans to focus and encourage investment in the green growth is critically important. If we want to develop the economic potential of any economy, you have to go in that direction.
That's the part of reliability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And resilience.
Yeah.
If you don't. Yeah. Okay.
Governor Bailey and then Chair Powell.
Well, I was going to observe, I mean, a point I was going to come into on following what Jay and Christine were saying earlier about what we've
She looks kind of annoyed now.
And make a point on growth. I mean, one of the things we learned over that period was that the sort of the underlying interest rate, the sort of structural R-star, seems to have gone down for a long period of time, actually, certainly in the UK when we look at it. The question is, what do we learn? You know, these
oh no, Slick, what are you saying now?
Today, what do they imply for it? I'm probably not in the same place as Charles Goodall, because I think these trends are so long run.
No, I'm just joking.
Population side, on longevity side.
You can say what you want, but yeah, the chat might come for you.
On the basis of what we know today. So I think the underlying story will obviously move, but there's a lot that's sort of built into it already.
All right, that's enough with the forum today, guys. We'll just mute it, put it in the background, get back to the stocks today. Yeah, the market though overall is starting to move quite a bit here. The SPY has been up and down, up and down. we're starting to see a lot of stocks, you know, obviously still fall off to the downside, like Nvidia, AMD. AMD just made a new low of day a second ago, but now it's popping back up. MTTR still moving down. Airlines are down. I noticed, guys, CCL just kept going down all throughout the morning, down to 15% now today. Pretty bad sell-off with them. That is brutal. Sean, if you're in here, big cat, not good, not good. Down below 185. Still falling off today. Maybe we can get in there for some nice longer-term plays here. Maybe over the next few days. That would be pretty funny. That would be nice. But, yeah, it was awesome to see BIC do well there on those Tesla plays. That's always nice to see. All good there, all good. Let's see how Palantir's doing today, guys. Some growth plays coming back at us today. Let's see. Yeah, they're trying to pop up a little bit more. Let's see, DraftKings down 1.5%. We're back below $13 on good old DraftKings. I hope we can stay up above 13. That would be, or stay up above 12, I mean. That would be helpful here in the short term. Man, if we can hold 10, too, that would be very nice as well. This has been a pretty crazy morning, though. I will say the market has been pretty crazy. We've been seeing stuff go all over the place. Oh, our reality income has been up, down on that daily chart. That looks pretty insane, too. Disney, let's go check them out intraday. Maybe they're coming up. Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to pop up, but I'm not sure that they're going to be able to make it and hold up throughout the day. For a while there, like Meta, Microsoft, and Apple were really pushing the markets higher. Looks like Apple and Microsoft are trying to push back up as of now, so not bad, actually. You know, I'll take that move up. It's actually not the worst move up in the world. Right up above 140. And yeah, it started coming up there in a big way. That was pretty big. Hopefully, if we can break 140, I think Apple could start to really run back up. I mean, we broke it momentarily. Like I said, on some of these stocks over like $100, you got to give or take like 25 cents sometimes like, you know, 10 cents. It just depends, but sometimes these stocks can get a little bit volatile intraday, kind of like what we saw with Apple there. But you can see, obviously, it bounced off 140 a couple times right after. Well, we'll just have to see how this one ends up playing out. I think, personally, Apple might set up to break out back to the upside again today. I hope that happens again, but I'm not sure that it's going to be a good way, a good play or not. Mike Chang says, "Awesome job, Dick." Yeah, definitely there. That was big. That was a nice play by him. Slick, you making any plays this morning? You day trading anything today? If you are, let me know. I'll check it out. But that's funny with some of them jokes from earlier there. Powell's still talking here. We still got the people up here. I'll be honest, the European Central Bank, I guess you could say, president sounded really smart. You know, the lady. What was her name again? Let me go get her name really quick. Christine Lagarde. Christine Lagarde. Sounds really cool though, or she sounds really smart. Overall, really good remarks from her and Powell. Not too sure on the other two guys. Kind of hard to understand them. I'm not gonna lie. It is some of them were speaking with like some pretty rich accents, so that was making it a little bit tough. But yeah, I noticed Ford is still selling back off today. Bad moves with them if you're looking for plays to the downside. Maybe Ford could be a good way to go. Let's see, Baba. Baba's actually holding up okay. I mean, it's still red, but it had a pretty good green bounce off that support around 114. Actually, not the worst move that we've seen today, or even this week in general. But yeah, we're approaching 9:30, guys, at least Central Time. 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, I believe. So if you guys are, if you guys are looking for any other last-minute stocks, last-minute plays, or anything like that, definitely throw them out there, and we will check those out. I'm looking for some pretty good setups today, actually. You know, it's hard to find good setups today. Lots of stocks are like just really consolidating. It's hard to judge. Like look at Netflix today. Kind of hard to judge whether it's gonna continue down or start to move back up. I hope it moves up, but I have a weird feeling in my brain like we're going to start moving down. I feel like that the market is just still kind of maybe going to have one more consolidation day before we start popping back. But I really hope the SPY can hold 380. It looks like so far we've been holding it. Maybe if we can hold that, we can hold up green today. My watch list is very mixed. You know, like I said earlier, very mixed across the board. Like Microsoft is trying to point up. Apple's trying to point up. We have McDonald's in the green. Meta, Amazon, Chewy even. Growth stock in the green. KR or Kroger, Pepsi. So like lots of stocks are in the green here. But then to the downside, we have some pretty bad movers. Like I know that these aren't market-breaking stocks like Apple, but you know, Plug, Enphase, AAL, all like pretty much almost all the airlines, all the cruise lines. Some of these plays like run, like some solar plays are down. Nvidia, AMD, those types of stocks too. Tesla. So yeah, it's like just very mixed. You know, like while Apple and a few other stocks are green, lots of them are also down in the red by quite a bit. But I will say Apple has some pretty good intraday momentum coming back in. Maybe you could catch a play to the upside here if you are interested in that. I'm gonna actually throw it in the Discord really quick. But yeah, Apple's having a pretty good move here today. I mean, I'll take that nice green upwards movement with Apple and Discord both. Or Apple and Microsoft both. Those are the main stocks that I'm watching today. Apple, Microsoft, probably Meta too. That was another one that went really green this morning. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining up today, though. Great job, Bick, and also, of course, thank you so much for that super chat. Shorted Tesla, had a nice play. So yeah, overall, I'm glad you had a great morning there, Bick. Thank you, Slick, for joining up. Long time no see. Glad to see you coming in. Hunter, of course, thank you so much for talking there. Sean, J Deep, Mike Chang, Carlos Serrano, Bill W, Vicky, Jamie. Yeah, I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for liking the stream, of course, too. I go live every single day at market open as long as the market's open, so don't forget to check that out. Oh man, looks like Meta turned over here, had a bit of a red candle come in. Yeah, Apple might be double topping there. We'll have to see how it ends up holding up, but yeah, those stocks are the green ones today. But thank you for joining up, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, I hope you guys walk away with some nice hefty profits.